I'm with the Little Bit Foundation. I'd like to thank you all for hopping in with us this morning for our virtual transfer skills seminar, with Worldwide Technology. I would be remiss not to mention a few people I have on here that actually consistently help me and my team get our job done. The rest of my team actually is also here. Ms. Jada Cole is actually our college and career readiness coordinator. Our vice president of programs and compliance, which is Miss Erica Driver, and our CEO, Miss Miranda Jones. So I want to thank you all for coming on as a support to us as an organization, but also I see my other coworker, Johnette Alexander, also on here. Thank you so much. So I'm going to hop right into it. I want to thank you all for attending the Virtual Transfer Skills, sponsored by Citi. And so we're going to go ahead and kick off this series about interviewing skills. I'm going to introduce our quick speakers. Dr. Curtis Williams with Worldwide Technology is an energetic learning and development professional, cited as a passionate and engaging facilitator with the consultation capabilities to improve performance, leverage team diversity, and empower employees. Also, we have Venetia Perkins as an experienced business analyst with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and service industry. So that's all I have. I will kick it over to that team, and also Miss Ashley Harris of Worldwide Technology. Thank you also for joining us. So go ahead, Curtis.
You want to go, Ashley?
Your show.
Anything, Ashley, first?
Well, yeah, I just want to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you for being here. Worldwide Technology is so excited to be able to speak to all of you young people and hopefully share some really key information that will make a difference in your future. I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Curtis and Venetia, who will be presenting on behalf of Worldwide Technology today. So thank you for your time, and thank you for these treasures with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, thank you, Ashley, for the introduction. William, good morning again. And thank you, sir, as well, to the foundation. I thank you all for the work you all do as well. And we're going to go ahead and dive in. Myself and Venetia will spend time with you all today. We're going to bounce back and forth around the slide content to ensure you all are clear and you all are ready to be awesome in the future as professional people, right? We're going to go and dive in. Listen, so to get us started today, this is our agenda for today. We're going to look at a couple of things, researching organizations, types of interviews, your personal brand, which is very, very key. We're going to get into how you prepare for the interview, and of course, how you in turn prepare to engage your employer in the interview process as well, but talking points, okay? And listen, team, again, if you guys have questions, feel free to share, chat, stop us and chime in, all right? All right, kind of going forward, this is us, all right? No big deal. I'm a shy guy, so we're gonna keep on cracking, okay? Venetia, let him hear your voice, dear. Say good morning.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Glad to be here.
All right, all right, all right. Well, we're gonna go and dive in. Just quickly, you all, just some worldwide content. Again, you all know Worldwide is a phenomenal MBE in the world here, and we're a profitable company, a lot of employees, 9,000 to count today. And we've been blessed to win and be acknowledged as Fortune's, one of our best companies there with Fortune, with Time Magazine, influential company there. So Worldwide is a huge player in the corporate space, the minority business space, and the tech space. So we say that we're here today because we're confident, we care, and we got some things to say about what y'all are trying to get done, okay? All right, we're gonna keep on going here. And of course, I'm curious, does anyone on the call with our teams and our audience, well, their names are there, so I'm gonna keep on going. That would have been a cheat one there, okay? All right, Dave and Jim. All right, again, Worldwide is about innovation. We are about inclusion in our culture, and we are about being a great place to work for all. Michael Bush, who runs the Great Place Organization, is a huge partner of ours and validates the work we do here at Worldwide. So again, we're glad to be here all today and excited for the time we're going to share together. Before I move forward, Ashley or Venetia, do you want to share more about the world space? Anybody else? Anything else?
The only thing that I would share on this slide would just be calling out Worldwide's culture. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that when we speak on researching organizations, but this is something that we're really, really proud of as far as our culture. And by culture, that's what we mean by our values, our mission, our vision, how we treat each other, how we act. So that's something that does not happen by accident. And that's something that you should be thinking about as you consider different employers for yourself.
Benicia?
I think you guys said it well, but like the core of WWT's business is really delivering and driving solutions for their customers. So that core values that Ashley just spoke about is really important, right? We really have to understand who we're working with, our customers, they're our partners. So
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's get into that. Okay, let's get into that. All right. And as we kind of kick this off with you all today, researching a company, and I want those on the calls to talk to me today as well. As we do this today, let's look at a couple of things. Why should you do it? Any thoughts about that, young people? Why should you research a company? Any thoughts about that?
I know we have a couple classes in here, so as teachers, feel free to type into the chat or respond or however you want to do it. So
I want to hear your voice if possible. I want to hear your voice.
looks like we got an answer from Khadijah.
And what is she saying?
Make sure they match your values. It's great.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. Spot on. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Spot on. Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And just a few more things too. And she is spot on, but again, you want to find out clearly the company's culture, kind of who's who, product line, what is their big idea? What is their main value add? And again, do you align with them as well as an employee? For sure. Okay. What are some things you want to look for? Okay. Any thoughts there?
Just said, talk about the pros and the cons.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. 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 Okay. Anybody else? Anyone else? Okay. All righty. Well, listen, those are some good responses, but again here, want to look for, and we'll say more about it later, but you want to again look for, any distinctives on that company, are they winning awards? Are they top of their game? Are they in the news and are the stories good? What is their retention rates? Who are they hiring? And all of those things you want to dig into clearly. And again, some companies have a said reputation. Some companies have a real reputation. You want to find those who have a real bona fide reputation. Okay. All right. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. So let's go a little deeper. Team, listen, this researching piece, it is a strategic necessity. Okay. You do not want to embark upon the interview process and job search without knowing again who you are coming to. And you want to set your game up because as you are checking them out, they're checking you out. So this dual thing is kind of going on, right? So strategically, you want to get this done ahead of time, okay? You want to get it done ahead of time. And then, where should you look? Talk to me, team. Where do you want to do your research? Where are you going? Talk to me, team.
Let's see. I think we have some educators taking poll of their class, dropping in the chat. So we have word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ooh, the mission statement. That's a good one,
Wow.
Precious.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Rachel
like
said their website. Alexis said the internet.
Yeah, they're killing it. They're hitting it. Yeah, they're spot on. They're spot on. They're spot on. I love the mission statement. That is rich. Yeah, website, social media, the reviews of the company, the news. what's being said about them. So we're spot on there, family. So you know where to go, what to look for. Okay, so we're in a good spot, we're in a good place, all right. And this prepares you for your interview, it prepares you for your preparation. So right now we're in a good place. Venetia, anything you want to add, Venetia?
No, I think that's perfect. We talked about the value alignment, right, between you and the company that you're doing research. And so this is really your time to investigate and look at who do they say they are, who do others say they are, and how they're showing up. And so finding just your initial research, right, because you're preparing to potentially interview and work for this company, right, and you get to interview them as well. So this kind of helps you start that process.
Yeah. Benicia, you did a good thing. So you already said this key word about a value alignment, right? So if you can, Benicia, talk a little bit about our values here.
Yep. So the vision. So the vision of WWT, like I told you guys, we're a technology solutions provider. And our vision is to be the best technology solutions provider in the world, right? So better than all the other technology solutions providers, right? And that's a very strong mission statement, a vision statement, and a lot goes into that. And so making sure that the company has values is important into achieving that vision. The mission is to create a profitable growth company that is also a great place to work, right? And so this kind of mission statement that includes people and their working conditions, right? That shows you that the company really cares about its employees, right? And so these are things that you kind of want to look for. Absolutely, you want to work for a company that cares about you and your experience that you have when you're working there. On top of that, you want to make sure that they're making money so they stay in business and you continue to have a great place to work. And so these are two very important things to me, and you get to consider what is important to you as well. So pay attention. I think Precious said the mission statement, right?
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah. You're doing so good, Venetia. Just keep on going. You're doing so good. Go ahead. Work it.
Okay. All right. So now this one is, what about value alignment? So worldwide technology, some of the values that we have, we call it the pathway, right? And it really is just the words that you see here that make up the path term that we use as our core values. We use it to guide us. The first one is trust, right? You need to be somebody that people can trust to work with. Humility, right? We all make mistakes. We all are continuously learning, and you want to go about that in a humble way, so that you're just kind of easier to work with, right? And people can trust that you'll be humble, and they can come to you about different problems that they're having. You guys can problem solve together. Embrace changes. In the technology industry, in any industry, right, there's always going to be change, right? And so being able to kind of adapt to those changes, have a positive attitude about the changes that are coming into play, and get into like what's new and what's happening and where we're trying to go to continue to make the business succeed. Passion. I think that's my favorite. And I think a lot of you on the call will probably be able to resonate with that one as well, right? Being passionate, having that energy, right? As young people, you're usually really excited about learning new things, exploring new territories, and that passion just goes along with it. Hold that passion for as long as you can. It's gonna really fuel you to get through many different challenges in life, many different challenges at work. Attitude. I guess similar to passion, just having a great attitude about the things that you do and going into it with the right kinds of mindset. Being a team player, right? How do you show up as a teammate? How do you work with others? Are you working well with others? Are you communicating in the way that you need to be? Are you getting the things that you need to be able to get done? And are you using your team to get those things done? And then honesty, right? That's another one of my favorites, right? So being able to show up as yourself, being able to communicate how you really feel in a way that is, I guess I should say, in a way that is, can be easily received by others in a way. So we want to talk about being honest, but we also want to talk about like being sensitive and compassionate to other people's feelings. So we don't want to just tell them the truth and hurt their feelings, but we do want to let them know where we're coming from, right? Because our insight is valuable. And the Little Bit Foundation, it sounds like we are partnering together because our values align. So you guys also value integrity, compassion, dignity, and excellence, right? And that is why you're able to operate the foundation and impact the children that you have brought onto the call. And so we're doing this together.
Yeah. Thank you, Venetia. And also to our students again, as an analogy, how worldwide and Little Bit aligned, you want to ensure that those companies you seek out do have the same dynamic going on. You can see some alignment there in who you are and who they are as a company and an entity, okay? All right, well, listen, we spent some time talking about the research piece. Any questions from the class? Any questions, any comments, any concerns before we go forward? I would love to hear some voices. I really, really would, but it's okay. All right. All right. Well, listen, we're going to go further. So in the interview space, based on who you read and where you read, you'll find lists of tons of interviews, right? You wanted to pull out just a few common interviews that you are likely to see more often than others. And in doing that, we're going to get into just this really, really succinct list here. Number one, we're looking at what we call panel interviews. And this is where you as a candidate might be sitting in front of 4 or 5 people. And it is because all 4 or 5 of those folks, they have connections with your role, all right? So they want to talk to you and see how you fit, how you align with, again, their company, and they're going to work with you, and they're just kind of forecasting, but in the interview, how will this thing kind of work out, right? Right, that's the panel piece, okay? So you got to prepare, you got to read past your job description, research that company, business lines, and business units, okay? And get yourself ready to show up and to show out, okay? There are group interviews, and again, here, this is where a company may interview 4 or 5 folks for the same role collectively, okay? It's different, but it's really, really effective, all right? It's very competitive, but it does happen, okay? They're comparing talent, comparing answers, checking language, body language. I mean, it's a really, really competitive space, okay? The behavioral-based interview, this is where the company is asking you to kind of prove if your past behavior is forecasting good behavior for the future, okay? And they'll ask you a question like this. Tell me about a time you solved the problem. What did you do? And what were the results? Okay? You got to unpack that, right? It's called the STAR method, okay? So again, there is the situation, there's a task you perform, the action, and then the results, okay? So, and this is very, very popular, okay? Competency-based interview, again, they're looking now to see critically, not just your skills, but how competent are you with those skills? Anybody can use a hammer, but are you competent? Anyone can type, but are you competent? That's the goal. And really, team, competency, it separates the many from the elect few. Okay, so that's a huge style of interview there as well. Situational interviews, team, is where, again, they may give you unique cases, real world stuff in the interview, and challenge you to solve it, fix it, respond to it, okay? You can't just talk it through, you got to do something, okay? So you've got to be really, really on your game in that kind of interview, okay? Know your skills, know your language, know your history. You got to be on your game, okay? All that good stuff, bring with you, okay? You want to add anything, Venetia, to that? You want anything?
No, that was really great. The only thing I guess I would say is Curtis provided some really good examples. It's preparation, 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 right? So
Yes.
make sure that you're asking questions throughout. Going in, you want to know the type of interview that you're going to do, and you can ask that, right? That way you can prepare for that interview style. And then the other thing would be start thinking about the things that you're doing right now, so that you can speak to them later, right? How are you solving problems today? If you've never had a job before, you know, what are your interactions with your friends like, right? And start learning about yourself so that you can tell your story in a better way.
Yes, thank you, Venetia. Yeah, yeah. Awesome, 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 awesome. Now, there are also teams, some uncommon interviews, kind of special, okay? And these are interviews that you could run into based on the kind of job you're pursuing, okay? For example, a case interview. This interview is kind of where they're going to probably talk to you about some of the basics of the job, but then you're going to be challenged to actually get involved and solve a business case, okay? That is relevant to the company, and they want to see how you do it. You know, how do you think? How do you solve problems? How do you do strategy? You know, how do you comprehend? How do you display that? You know, how do you use tools? You know, how do you end game? Do you see it? Can you see it? How do you do all those things, right? So the case interview is heavy. You got to be prepared again, to Venetia's word, prepare, 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 okay? And then also does a stress interview. Now, this interview, wow, they may challenge you to see how you function under a stressful context. It might be a puzzle, an ill-structured problem, okay? And that is a problem that doesn't have a lot of context. You got to figure it out, okay? Maybe an odd task, you know, my goodness, you know, fix a model car without glue. They may set you up, right? They want to find out, how do you handle the unforecasted? Okay, how do you do this? Okay, how do you do that, right? So you got to be on your game again. You got to prepare, and again, they won't set you up for failure. They'll give you a heads up. Okay, so but you got to prepare. Got to prepare. Okay. All right.
And
Yeah,
one thing
Venetia.
I just wanted to add is sometimes it's not all about giving the right answer, right? Or knowing the solution, but like, how do you think about the solution? These questions, I think, are, in my opinion, some of the harder types of interviews. And a lot of times versus you giving the right answer, right? Because the company can provide you with the training that you need to get to the right answer. How are you thinking about solving the problem? How would you go about it? The other thing I would add to that is just don't give up, right? I can tell you I've sat on at least one interview where we asked a challenging question, and a lot of interviews now are over the phone, right? And the person got a little flustered and hung up, right? So don't hang up, right? Answer the question, talk about it, right? Don't give up, don't hang up. Just kind of think through it and think through it aloud. Even if you don't know the answer, like I said, you can be transparent and say, hey, I don't know, but this is how I would tackle that. So we can get some insight into how you're thinking about it, and your talent can really show up in that way as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Venetia. That's good. That's good. That is good. That is good. The last interview, team, again, is the on-the-job interview. And again, this is simply where they're going to challenge you beyond just talking to you, to her point, to do that job you're interviewing for real time in that space, okay? It's going to be a mock deal, but you got to do it, right? Whether it's computer-based, write a program, write a language, solve a problem, you know? So again, these require major, major prep, okay? And we've covered, again, interview types. Any questions? Any questions? I want to hear at least one. Talk to us today. Any questions? Okay. All right. All right.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think one of the questions, sorry, we're not going to type anymore since you said you wanted to hear voices.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, we won't type anymore. About a lot late. So lately now the scholarship, a lot of students are being selected for scholarships. So, and a lot of them are going on interviews. So what typically, whenever they go on scholarship interviews, what are typically the type of interviews that they would go on? Would they be case-based? Would they be group? I think that's kind of one of the questions they wanted to know.
I think you want to look at, again, the particular job, what kind of drive that. If it is, quote, just a position of professional stature, not too overly technical and techie per se, but again, the job type will drive that. Okay. And again, a good employer will give you a heads up. They'll tell you ahead of time what kind of experience to expect. Okay. Venetia, want to add anything to that?
I think so. And Pamela, did I hear you say that some of the students are preparing for interviews, scholarship interviews for college?
Yes. So like, for example, last week, a lot of our students had interviews for like the North County Fire Rescue. We know like the Royal Vagabond Scholarship and the Omega Scholarship, they always have interviews for them to go to, like if their application is selected. So I think for them, that's the most relevant right now in terms of interviews. So what's the best way, I guess, to ask that, hey, what type of interview is this?
Okay, I'm gonna default back to Curtis because he has a PhD, y'all. So I know Curtis knows a thing or two about scholarship.
No. There is an interview. Is that Pamela?
It's actually Khadijah, but I'm using this fall's technology because mine and my office doesn't work. So we use hers to broadcast to the entire.
Okay, Khadijah. No. This is more of a traditional context here. So they're looking for, your competencies, your skills, and literally, on your, what do you bring to this conversation? What are your strong suits? Okay, what do you do well? So that they're going to track your resume. And talk more about that. So kind of a traditional conversation, why are you here? What do you do well? So that person wants to have a good talk track on their skills. What have they done well? How did they achieve the scholarship? Grades, clubs, what do they lead? What do they fix? What do they solve? So this traditional value add is what they're after, okay? It's a sales pitch for that job, okay? And we'll say more about that in a few more slides too, okay?
So one more question. I don't know if you're asked this. So a debate that myself and another student has been a couple of weeks ago, they had interviews at Maryville for their top scholarship. And so some of them didn't, some of them got it, some of them didn't. And so they wanted to know, would it be rude to reach back out and ask what they could have done differently as they prepare for future? I'm not talking about you, so stop it. You're not the only one. Sorry. Some of them are like, she over here putting our business on. No, I'm not. I'm not about you.
I love it.
So would it be rude to reach out and ask, hey, what could I do differently in order to be successful for the next scholarship interview?
They should absolutely do that. Do that. It's initiative. They're concerned. You want to be better. Yes, do that. Yes, do that. Yes. All right. I love it. All right. We're rolling now. We're talking to people. I love it. All right. Any more questions? Love it. All right. So this is critical, team. So your personal brand, what in the world is it? Okay. And as we look at this thing, here's what's critical. So your personal brand, it's your reputation. It's how you are perceived outside of your own ego and comfort level, right? You know what you think, but what are they thinking? Okay. Literally, it's also a team, the result of how these other people perceive. So here's the deal. You're working on some things like your persona, like how you dress and how you groom yourself, and your lingo, your language, your rhetorical game, who you're reading, who you're watching, when you are involved in a conversation, what are you talking about? You know, what can you reference? Who can you reference? All those things play a part in your personal brand. And here's a critical thing, team. Of course, in the backdrop of social media. And just like you research them, they're researching you. So when they tap your Facebook page, what will they see? When they tap your Twitter account, what will they see? Will they see, you know, something consistent with the resume? You know, that's critical. You know, how are you looking on Facebook? You know, what are you saying on Facebook? You know, what kind of threads are you involved in? And so all of those things matter critically to your personal brand. Okay. And you want to be mindful of the fact that you really are that, whether you intend to be or not. You're telling a story. Okay. So how you show up, how you're perceived, a lot of that depends on you. Okay. How do you wear what you wear? Is it decent? Is it tactful? Okay. Is it offensive? Is it controversial? All those things be mindful of, okay? Because culture these days is a huge piece to all that we do. So you got to find a good lane to be in, all right? Because you are, in fact, a personal brand. You're selling something. What is it? Diligence, competence, professionalism, wisdom, insight. You know, what are you selling? What are you presenting? Okay. Anything, Venetia, on that?
No, that's great. As Curtis mentioned, your personal brand is really just like what makes you uniquely you, right? So how do you show up? How do you want to show up? And the way that you effectively personal brand yourself, right, is how do you highlight those things so that people want you on your team, right? Or want you on their team, and how you differentiate yourself.
Yes.
So I guess just keeping in mind, how do you want to show up? How are you showing up? And sometimes there's a difference, right? So we talked about honesty. Let's be honest with ourselves and say, hey, you know, this is who I feel I am. But are we getting that feedback from our peers and what they think about how we're showing up and how they feel that we are? And sometimes we need to reconcile. And sometimes, you know, maybe that feedback is not so good. So really be considering these things because you're showing up everywhere. We've got social media on the background, right? So there's so many places and ways for you to show up: Facebook, Instagram, all of the things. And so we want to make sure that you're representing yourself in a way that is appealing to others, and also like somebody that you are proud to show up as, right? That's the most important.
Yes, yes. So here's your assignment. Before we leave today, I want you all to put in the chat, would you hire me and Venetia, and why? Would you hire us and why? How are we coming across? What's our brand? Okay, give us a word, okay? And would you hire us and why? That's your assignment today, okay? All right, we're gonna keep on rolling today. Listen, so with the personal brand, this is huge, team. So listen, in the corporate space, you hear a lot of language. You will often hear this language about culture fit. We want to hire somebody who fits our culture, okay? Well, in the HR space, innovation is now looking at, you know, being disruptive, and meaning that, you know, how can we in HR, you know, begin to be disruptive, shake the boat up a little bit, not do the common, but do the different. So they're now talking about cultural add, okay? And let's look at what those mean in more detail, okay? So cultural fit talks about hiring somebody who's like you. They fit what you already are, okay? And we could unpack that further. We don't have time, but you know, the values on point. You know, they have the style and talk the same lingo. They fit who we are, you know, and that's okay. But in this day and time of innovation, you know, of technology, you know, we want you all to focus on cultural add, okay? And what that means is this: you want to be that person for that company who's looking for someone that does not just fit our culture, but when we hire them, they're going to be a value add. They're going to be a cultural add. They're going to add to our company what we don't have. Okay, they're going to bring leadership. They're going to bring positivity. They're going to bring diligence. They're going to transparency. They're going to bring some things that we need to be a better company and make more money. Okay, so you are that big old green apple in the middle. When you show up, now there's color in the picture. There's color there now, right? What before it was the same old red, right? Now there's color, and you bring that when you show up. So be mindful of this. The job you apply for, others are going to do it too. So what will you say in the interview space that will show that company, this dude, this sister is a value add and a cultural add, okay? Not just another one of the same, okay? Who you're reading, what you're reading, more time in content or more time on television, more time in the things of substance or more time gaming. All your time, how you manage your time, all of those things, team, they add value to you, so you add value to a company. Okay? All right? All right. Let's prepare for the interview now. Okay, let's get prepared for that. All right. And to dive in, there are some resume basics. And Benicia, I'm gonna build this out so you can unpack this. Okay. I'm gonna go and build it out.
All right.
You can unpack it.
Right, resume. What is a resume, right? So a forward-looking pitch of your capabilities. And it's really just an account of your work experiences, skills, and achievements. So we talked about personal branding. This is your brand on paper, right? What have you done? We want to talk about your key achievements, experiences. You want to show yourself on paper, right? Because typically people see your resume before you show up, right? And so this is really their first impression of you. You want it to be neat, organized. We got a snippet, easy to read, format it well, make sure you're using keywords, typo free, and just kind of showcase your success via your resume there. Mm-hmm. What are the key elements of a resume? So they're really looking at, you need critical information that we just talked about, skills, experience. You want, your name, your contact information, so they know how to get in contact with you, your education, no experience, or any awards that you've received, and then just highlighting your skill sets there.
All right, all right. And team, also listen to this critically now. So you're doing things now, right? In school, you're a student. Are you top of your class? What's your GPA? Any clubs you're leading, okay? Use those experiences as branding and personal brand points, okay? That stuff transfers to a resume, okay? Use those things critically. What are teachers saying about you? Capture that. Capture those things, right? Okay? Because it's a part of your brand, okay? All right. Any questions before we move forward? We're almost done, team. We're rocking and rolling. Any questions?
No, our bell just rang, so they just had to leave.
Oh no!
But a few of them are still hanging around.
All right. We're gonna keep on pressing forward, okay? So the company will have questions for you, but you want to have questions for them, okay? And the question is why, okay? Critically, you want to be thinking about, what would you ask them? Your research will give you some context for your questions for them, all right? But just kind of consider some of these things real quickly. Number one, again, the company's culture. You want to ask about that. Why is it so? What does it look like? Why is it so consistent? You want to have some questions around the company culture, okay? What do you like about the company? You want to ask them that, okay? Why are you here, okay? Get the real deal from them, all right? How does this company really live out its values? What does it look like in 3D in a meeting, with salary and benefits, in events? What does it look like for real beyond the poster and the sign on the wall, okay? Give me a couple of reasons why employees stay here. How do you retain employees? You know, and these questions, team, is showing the employee you thought about it, you check the company out, you're on your game, and you care about who you are giving your time and talent to. Okay. We got one more here. You know, now this is a huge one here because this is putting them now on the spot in a good way. Do they know who they want to hire? Okay. And do you align with that desire? You know, what does the ideal candidate for this role look like? Okay. And that's not about what you're wearing, it's how you perform. Okay. What does that person really bring to the table? Okay. And do I fit that? Do I fit that? Okay. This is huge. All right. All right. Transferable skills is coming up now. And let's go ahead and build this out. Okay. What's this, Venetia?
Okay, so what are transferable skills? Transferable skills are the skills that you take with you from one job to another, right? So some of the things that you can think to put on your resume or highlight during your interview. So we talked about awards and nominations, results or achievements, volunteer experience, extracurricular activities. Are you babysitting, tutoring? Are you doing music lesson? What kind of chores does your mom have you doing, right? If you don't have that work experience, right, where are you learning from? A lot of times, you know, before you start working at a job, you're doing work around your household, right? So what skills did you learn from your family, from your household that you can transfer out into the job force?
Yeah. And then quickly too, look at the skills over there: communication, listening skills. How do you do those now, and how can you brag about those in resume and interview form? Okay, a little more to that. You know, again, robocom skills, written comm skills. Again, be sure that you are paying attention to yourself, how you perform, how you impact, and you want to capture those things for your job searching, interviewing time and days. Okay, you really want to do it. All right. Awesome. More skills. Are you a leader? Can you adapt? Are you artsy? Are you creative? Okay. Can of you all rap? Did you write one, create one? Okay, transfer that stuff. Okay. What are you doing on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok? What are you doing out there, right? Is it marketable? Okay. Use all of your time and talent to add value to you and your future. Do you manage time well? Take out the trash. Is that mom's call to you, or you already got that covered? Okay, so time managers is huge. Okay, and again, are you tech savvy? What do you know about it beyond just gaming? Okay, that's going to be huge. All right, capture your skills. Okay, all right. Listen, any questions for us? This is your time. For a few, what you got? What you got for us today? Come on, don't be shy. Who's left?
I think
Try it again, Khadijah.
Khadijah said she was going to type it in because she's echoing.
Okay.
Miranda did say that she would hire you all. It's the passion for the mission, and for creating culture for all. So congratulations, Curtis and Venetia. You all just got hired.
I got a job. I love it. What you pay? How much you pay? Okay, awesome. Thank you all for the chance to share. I'm gonna step back. Ashley.
Well, thank you. I hope this was insightful. And, you know, for those who had to leave early, hopefully we can get that recording in front of those students so they can get those last few minutes of the presentation. But thank you so much, Curtis and Venetia, for sharing your morning with us and pouring into these students. Thank you to William and Little Bit Foundation for inviting Worldwide Technology to be a part of this program. It is so important. So we really do appreciate all of the hard work that you and Jada and the rest of the team do to organize these events.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your presentation, but you're not done yet. It's a question. Ms. Khadijah had a question for you. It says you don't have a lot of skills. How would you articulate that? Example, you didn't participate in extracurricular activities. So how would you articulate if you don't have a lot of skills like to present?
Okay.
That's from review.
No, that is a great question. Okay, so that's a misnomer. You do have skills. You have skills. How do you frame them? Okay, that's what do you do? What have you been doing? What do you have? You have them. The thing is, how do you frame them? Okay, and then what have you been doing? You know, that you can put into a framework of a resume. What is that? Thinker, problem solver. You know, are you creative? You know, you got to dig deep. We all have skills.
Mhm.
We all have skills. Okay,
Mhm.
you got to frame it. Okay,
Yeah.
get a mentor.
Certain things that, you know, we want to call attention to. Do you have perfect attendance? Do you turn in your homework on time? Do you have initiative to start your projects without having someone kind of nudge you to do it? Those are all skills.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what William too, what Ashley did too is she nuanced that thing. But listen, there's skills and there's behavior. Okay, there's attitude. All those things add value to you as a person in a job. So, and get a mentor. Okay, get a mentor. Give us a call. Holler at us. Okay, for real. I mean that's how you do that thing. Lean on some help, experience.
We have a question in the chat. It says, what have you done regarding volunteer work or coursework that you excel in? So actually it seems like it's
Yeah,
more of a response.
I was giving I was giving her some other things to think about when it comes to putting her
Yeah.
resume together other than potential
Awesome.
employment.
Mhm.
You can learn those things just by being the student that she already claims to be.
Yep, love it.
All right.
Great.
Well, we really do appreciate you all, and the presentation today was spot on. It was very beneficial. So just to let everybody know, all the presentations that we do, all the ones that we have, will be available on our YouTube page. If you check us out, it's the Little Bit Foundation. Let me pull this up for you real quick. Looks like this, the Little Bit Foundation is actually our YouTube page. So please check us out on YouTube. All these will be posted there. I'll also email out all participants a link to our YouTube page for this video and the contact information for this team from Worldwide Technologies if you want to reach out for additional questions following this event. In addition to that, please show up next month for our next virtual transferable skills seminar, April 18th. It's going to be on a Tuesday. It's with Dr. Boyd from Maryville University, setting yourself up for success. But I would be remiss if I didn't say who won the drawing. It's all about the drawing is what it really comes back down to. Jada, do you want to come off? Can you come off mute? Or you got some sound? There we go.
Yeah, yes, I do. Okay, so the winner for the attendance raffle is Alexis Taylor from Riverview. So Miss T. Jan will bring that physical gift card to you next week on Monday when we're on campus.
Awesome.
Thank you, Worldwide Technology. Thank you so much, Jada, Erica, Miss Janetta, Miranda. Thank you all for hopping on. Thank you, Rivy. Thank you, Ridner. Thank you, anybody who else has signed in. It's been an amazing time, amazing conversation. You all have an amazing day. It is pre-Friday, which means no matter, although it's one more day left in the week, it's still time